The film starts with a man seemingly in a lab and is carefully preparing what looks like a small tube. A beautiful woman walks in to act as a test subject. She does this to earn money to pay for her bills. Among other things, Lucy is a university student, a copier at a downtown office during the daytime, and a waitress at a restaurant in the evenings. At night, she meets a friend at a bar and follows her to the bathroom where they take turns taking drugs to prepare for the night ahead. Back at the bar, Lucy and her friend introduce themselves to two middle-aged men sitting at the far side of the room. The group decides to do a coin toss to see who goes home with who for the night. In the end, Lucy loses the bet and leaves to spend the night with one of the guys. In the morning, Lucy walks home to find her sister and her sister's partner having breakfast in the kitchen. Her sister's partner asks her for a share of the rent, and she hands him an envelope as payment. He then reminds her to clean the bathroom since it's her turn this time. After doing her chores at home, Lucy heads down to her friend Birdman's apartment. Birdman is an alcoholic and is very attracted to Lucy. While she does not return his sexual interest, Lucy enjoys Birdman's company, and it is only in his presence that she is shown smiling or laughing. During these visits, there's an old joke between them where Birdman asks Lucy to marry him, and Lucy declines. Lucy also takes care of Birdman as a part-time job. She keeps him company and makes sure that he eats his meals and takes his medication. But due to a lack of money and Birdman's growing addiction, Lucy makes a decision to look for another part-time job. One day, Lucy sees an ad in the newspaper for a modeling job. The pay is more than twice her usual salary, and she immediately goes to a nearby phone booth to contact the employer. She did not hesitate to go to the interview where she was greeted by a middle-aged woman named Clara. Clara runs a company that combines lingerie modeling and catering performed by young women at a black-tie dinner party for mostly male clients. Sounds like a fancy Hooters. As soon as they sit down to talk, Clara asks Lucy specific questions about herself, to which Lucy answers truthfully. Clara's mannerisms and her calm demeanor made Lucy feel comfortable around her. Clara assures her that the men are not allowed to touch the women sexually, and Lucy agrees to try it. After their talk, Clara asks Lucy to take off her clothes so she can check for scars, burns or tattoos that would make Lucy unfit for the job. Clara then calls her assistant to help her look at Lucy's body. When they found no imperfections, Clara informed Lucy that she was hired and that they would call her once she was needed. Before leaving, Clara stops Lucy and tells her that she will be given a name Sarah as her stage name for the purpose of anonymity. Lucy leaves the office, satisfied since the job pays $250 per hour, ultimately solving her financial problems. The next day, Lucy booked an appointment at the spa to prepare for her new job and even had her whole body waxed. On the days that followed, Clara trains Lucy on how to do waitressing properly. Lucy would then practice at Birdman's apartment while she prepared his food. The day comes and Lucy is instructed to meet her driver at a dark alley where she will be driven to a big suburban house where Clara and the other girls are waiting for her. When Lucy arrives, she is met by the manager who instructs her to change into a pair of lingerie and to do her makeup in the other room. The manager checks her makeup and helps her with her lipstick. Not long after, Lucy undresses and is left in nothing but a pair of flimsy white lingerie. The manager leads Lucy to the kitchen where she meets the kitchen staff and the rest of the girls she will be working with. While Lucy is in white lingerie, the rest of the girls are in black and much more revealing ones, signifying how Lucy's role is different from theirs. Lucy and the manager walk to the dining room and stand at the head of the table, waiting for the guests to arrive. Not long after, men and one woman in tuxedos, at least 60 years old, swarm into the room and take their respective places on the table. The dinner starts and Lucy is tasked to serve wine while the other girls serve the dishes. After a few hours, the manager tells Lucy that she can leave early for the night and hands her a small envelope containing her salary. When she gets home, Lucy counts her salary and realizes that she now has more than she needs to pay for her dues. Lucy burns one of the bills, symbolizing her financial freedom. Once then, Lucy starts to neglect her other part-time jobs and she stops taking the bus when she goes out. Because of her new job, Lucy grew to hate her old ones that paid less than minimum wage. She became more and more familiar with her waitressing job. As she continues to make more money, her financial status changes, and so does her lifestyle. So when her sister's boyfriend kicked her out of the house, Lucy was able to rent a large apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the city below. One day, Lucy gets a call from Clara's assistant for a different and higher-paying job. She meets with her driver, who then drives her to Clara's country mansion. As soon as Lucy gets out of the car, she sees another young woman being dragged out of the house by a security guard and placed inside a car. Lucy made a brief eye contact with the girl, but she thought nothing of it and proceeded to walk inside the house to meet Clara. Inside the house, Clara asks her to take a shower and to meet her in the sitting room. In the sitting room, Clara prepares tea while Lucy sits next to her wearing nothing but an expensive robe. Clara offers Lucy a new job, which requires Lucy to be voluntarily sedated by drinking a special tea that would make her sleep soundly for a few hours. She will then be sleeping naked in a room, while one of Clara's clients spends the night with her. They are permitted to caress and cuddle her while everything else is strictly prohibited. Lucy agrees to this, already blinded by the high salary it entails. Lucy then drinks the tea that same night. Clara leads Lucy to the master bedroom, where she will be sleeping. Not long after, while Lucy is sound asleep on the bed, Clara leads her client into the room. They sit at the foot of the bed, while the client tells Clara about a story he read when he was young. Clara listens intently, and when the story is done, and it's time to leave, Clara carefully reminds her client about the rules for the visit. Her client agrees. Alone with a sleeping Lucy on the bed, the client slowly takes off his clothes and sleeps on the bed next to Lucy. The next day, she receives a call from Birdman, who is overdosed on painkillers. She immediately goes to his house and finds him in his bed. Upon Birdman's last request, sobbing, Lucy takes off her shirt and gets in bed with him, but he passes away in her arms. After Birdman's funeral, Lucy sees her ex-boyfriend and jokingly asks him if he will marry her, in an echo of her and Birdman's old playful banter. The ex-boyfriend, however, not understanding the reference, takes her seriously and naturally refuses her proposal, citing a number of Lucy's personal problems as his reasons. Lucy continues to work for Clara, but as the number of clients increases, so does their actions become more and more violent. One client even placed the butt of his cigarette on the back of Lucy's ear, burning her skin. After that particular incident, Lucy wakes up feeling pain behind her ears and starts to wonder what happens in the room while she is asleep. As the days go by, Lucy's curiosity increases as she thinks more and more about the burn behind her ear. Finally, succumbing to her curiosity, Lucy decides to buy a hidden camera that she plans to bring on her next session. By now, Lucy has already lost her job as a copier at the downtown office since she stopped coming for work. Her boss, fed up with Lucy's incompetence, fires her. She keeps her job at the restaurant, but even there, she is slowly starting to skip her shifts. One night Lucy decides to work at the restaurant out of boredom since Clara hasn't called her yet for another session. After her shift, Lucy's coworker asks to take her out for a drink, and she agrees. They end up skinny dipping and spending the night together. In the morning, Lucy is woken up by her phone ringing. She immediately picks it up to find Clara's assistant calling her, still hungover from her activities the night before. Lucy scrambles to find a clean set of clothes and her newly acquired hidden camera. Outside, Clara's driver is already waiting for her. On the drive, Lucy yells for the driver to stop the car so she can vomit on the side of the road. When she arrives at the mansion, Clara is waiting for her outside. When Clara asks her if she's okay, Lucy says yes. She clearly hasn't been feeling well, but forces herself to work anyway, not wanting to pass up on another big salary. Unlike her other previous sessions, this new one requires her to sleep through the night. Lucy agrees knowing that her salary would triple since the job pays hourly. In the sitting room, while Clara is preparing her tea, Lucy asks to know what goes on in the room while she is asleep. Clara refuses to tell her, reiterating to Lucy that her clients are powerful men and she cannot and will not do anything that could threaten their privacy and reputation. Still, Lucy begs, but Clara does not relent, saying it will put her clients at risk of blackmail. Finally, Lucy drinks the tea while Clara watches her. As always, Clara leads her to the room and watches her as she falls asleep. Lucy pretends to sleep, but as soon as Clara is out of the room, Lucy fights off the effects of the tea and tries to stand up. She retrieves the hidden camera, which she has successfully hidden inside her mouth. She looks around the room for a place to hide it and finds a sconce in the corner. She struggles to reach the sconce as the effect of the tea gets stronger as the seconds ticks by. Finally, Lucy was able to successfully install the camera and scrambled back to the bed when she heard people approaching the room. Clara and a client step into the room just in time as Lucy covers herself with a blanket. Clara is carrying a tray of tea and places it at the foot of the bed. She prepares it for her client, this time adding 3 scoops instead of just 1. Her client drinks it, and Clara leaves the room. Just like before, he removes his clothes and sleeps next to Lucy. The following morning, Clara comes in and checks the man's pulse, showing no surprise when he cannot be awakened. Clara tries to wake Lucy, who is overdosed as well, but is eventually able to revive her using mouth-to-mouth resuscitation upon seeing the man who has passed away beside her. Lucy begins screaming. The film ends with the scene captured by the hidden camera, the old man and the sleeping girl both lying peacefully together in bed. Obviously, Lucy was taken advantage of by many of her clients when she went to sleep. It's a shame she didn't realize this early on, but maybe she wouldn't have cared too much since it afforded her a nice lifestyle. What did you guys think of this one? Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel.